What is the difference between strength training and power training? Oftentimes, strength training and power training are used interchangeably, but they are not the same thing. So what is the difference between strength training and power training? Let's start with the definition of strength and the definition of power. And after that, we can deduct how the training for strength or for power looks like. A definition of strength is the ability to exert force to overcome resistance. A definition for power is to exert force in the shortest period of time. And there we can already see the difference. While strength is exerting force and overcoming resistance without being timely, power is the ability to exert force in a short period of time. So the amount of time or the short time span is more important than the force you can exert. In strength training, most of the times it's about overcoming resistance. What that means is we work with higher intensities, above 80% of the 1 RM, 80, 85, it depends a little bit. It's not written in stone, so we work with higher intensities, let's say 80% of the 1 RM, and the idea is to overcome resistance, so lifting the load. It doesn't mean we lift slow, because we discussed that earlier. Force is mass multiplied by acceleration, so it's also important how much acceleration we put onto the bar, but the main focus is overcoming the resistance and lifting the weight. For power training on the other side, it's important to overcome the load as fast as possible. So what that means, we work with lower intensities. So now it's a bit difficult to explain what the exact intensity is, because there is a range of intensities. We have a little bit the higher range of intensities, which is 60 to 80% of the 1 RM, then a range in between 40 to 60%, and then another range of 20 to 40%. Yeah? So it's a bit of a ranging scale. But anyway, the focus is on overcoming the resistance as fast as possible. If we work in the range of 60 to 80%, mainly we're using free weights or free weights with bands attached or chains, and the idea is to really accelerate. If we're using the range between 40 and 60%, we still use free weights, but then it's ballistic, so which means jumping in the air or throwing something. And if we use the lighter loads, 20 to 40%, it's still ballistic, but it's also lighter implements such as medicine ball throws and these kind of activities. Yeah? So, as a recap, definition of strength, exerting force to overcome resistance. Definition of power, exerting force to overcome resistance in the shortest period of time. Strength training, higher intensities, 80% of the 1 RM and higher. Power training, lower intensities, below 80%. And focus on strength training. The main focus on strength training is overcoming resistance. The main focus on power training is overcoming resistance as fast as possible.